tonight I thought it'd be fun with the release of Transformers Rise of the Beast to give my ranking of the Transformers film from the worst to the best. So let's not waste any time. Let's get started. Let's start with what I think is the worst Transformers live action film, and this is coming in at number 7, and that's Age of Extinction. Age of Extinction is, man, it's just a headache to me. I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of these Transformers movies are based on memory. I have not gone back to watch them. Some of them anyways. And Age of Extinction is one that I vow I could never watch again. I do like the introduction to the movie. I think it's kind of cool how they play off of what happened at the end of Dark of the Moon with the attack on Chicago, and now the Autobots and Decepticons are kind of in the same pool, and they're just all evil, and they're the enemy in the eyes of the world. And so they're kind of on the run, they're being hunted. I liked that aspect when the movie began, but then it's just filled with annoying characters. And the action in this one isn't so much exciting as it is annoying and overdone. And what's worse about Age of Extinction is that it is way too long. This is a movie that overstays its welcome greatly. This is nearly 3 hours long. I can't stand it. I'll never watch it again. It comes in at number 7. Not far behind it at number 6, though, is Transformers The Last Night. Man, talk about going out on a whimper. This movie, while not as bad as Age of Extinction, it was not much of an improvement. I still didn't really care or like Mark Wahlberg. Even when they paired him up with the little girl, I didn't give a crap. They teased Optimus Prime being the bad guy for this one. He's in the movie for like 10 minutes. Those trailers were so deceitful. And the whole timeline thing where they took the Transformers and put them into all these moments in history, it just didn't work for me. I thought it was completely stupid. I didn't think it made any sense. This is the Transformers movie that lost them money. It took 5 installments for people to say, we are enough of this. And The Last Night suffered the most, and I do not like it, so I'm okay with that. Coming in at number 5, Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. I will be honest about Revenge of the Fallen. It is a movie that I kind of give pity to, and I kind of give a little bit of grace because it was written during the writer's strike of 07 and 08. So the writing in this, the story, everything, it's not very good, and you can definitely see how the writer's strike affected it. However, there are some things in Revenge of the Fallen that I do like. Maybe in a so bad it's good kind of way. Shia LaBeouf's performance I find very entertaining in this movie. I don't know what he's doing when he's twitching his eye and he's seeing all the symbols. I think it's ironically very hilarious. There's just something about Revenge of the Fallen. I do think the action's kind of cool. The third act is abomination when they're in Egypt and somehow Shia LaBeouf goes to Transformers Heaven. There's a lot in this movie that does not make any sense, but there's also some humor in this movie that I'm not going to lie does hit for me. There are some times where I do laugh out loud in this movie. So while I don't necessarily like this movie very much, I also don't hate it. So it comes in at number 5. Coming in at number 4, I got Transformers Rise of the Beast. Now, I know that this hit for a lot of people. For me, it didn't really hit that strongly. I heard a lot of people say that they found this movie to be like a live-action Saturday morning cartoon. That's kind of where my problem came into, because it did feel like I stepped into an episode of a show that I was not caught up in. The Transformers, they were kind of cool. I like how they had more personalities this time around. The action was a lot of fun, but the rest of the characters I didn't really connect with. I thought the story was kind of bland. The globe-trotting adventure part of it was not very exciting or thrilling or fun for me. So while not a bad movie, I had some enjoyment with it. It comes in at number 4. Not the hugest fan of it. Coming in at number 3, we got Transformers Dark of the Moon. This movie is so crazy, and I kind of love it for it. With all the conspiracy theory stuff involving Transformers, I find that super funny. Shia LaBeouf, once again, is giving this outrageously hilarious performance in my eyes that I really enjoy watching. And the third act battle in this one with Chicago and the Decepticons are just destroying the place and turning the people into skeletons, vaporizing them right there on the street. It is so dark, but I find it so entertaining. The action in this I think is really cool. I think one thing that you got to give Michael Bay credit for, and that he put a lot of work and focus on with these movies, is the action sequences. Sometimes you can't really tell who's fighting who in the Transformers when they transform. It does look a little bit too like metal on metal sloppiness, but the action for the most part I really enjoy, and no more have I enjoyed it than in Transformers Dark of the Moon. So it comes in at number 3. And coming in at number 2 is the first Transformers movie. Look, this has a lot to do with nostalgia as well. My dad took me to see this back in '07 when I was just 8 years old. When those Transformers first transformed on the screen, my mind was blown away. It was kind of like how I usually describe it as, this is how I imagine people felt when they saw Jurassic Park for the first time. I was completely in awe and wonderment of how they were able to do this in this movie. I think the Bumblebee and Shia LaBeouf relationship in this movie is actually pretty endearing. It's the best it's probably been in the entire movie. Megan Fox and Shia LaBeouf, they're not the greatest romantic relationship, but I do think they're the best in this one. The story, while still outlandish, is a little bit toned down for what Michael Bay would later go on to do. I do think there's a lot of fun moments. The third act battle in the city is a lot of fun, with Shia LaBeouf running with the cube and all the Autobots trying to protect him and the Decepticons fighting it. I as a kid, that was the action scene of my life, and even to this day I still find a lot of enjoyment in it. So coming in at number 2 is the first Transformers film, which leaves number 1 being Travis Knight's Bumblebee. This is the Transformers movie that finally brought heart into this movie. This movie is so endearing. The relationship between Bumblebee and Haley Steinfeld's Charlie is so sweet. There's some weird stuff within the story, like the whole diving arc with Haley Steinfeld's character. Kind of ridiculous, a little bit stupid. I really do like, though, how scaled down this one is. They took it to the most basic story you could take it to. There's a lot of E.T. similarities in this movie with Bumblebee, but they picked an endearing character. They paired it up with an endearing relationship, scaled it down. It's a really fun watch for me. So for that reason, I have Bumblebee coming in at number 1. But I know that this is going to be a controversial list, so I want to hear what you guys have to say. What do you guys think of the Transformers film, and how would you rank them from worst to best? Comment down below, let me know all your thoughts and opinions, guys. And without further ado, let's take a look at what you guys are saying about this.